I'm your host, Shezad Contractor. Today's topic is Indian melodies. We have a very distinguished guest from the film and music industry from Bombay, India, Behroze Chatterjee. Behroze sings ghazals, geets, bhajans, and she sings in 21 languages. She sings for Hindi films and is now touring around the world. We are very fortunate to have her in our studio today. Behroze, tell us about your life and how did you start your singing career?
Well, Shezad, when I was a child, my mother tells me that I started singing at the age of 2.5, and I was playing harmonium also. This instrument is known as harmonium. So we had a very big harmonium in a house with the organ sort of a harmonium with the pedals, not like this. So I was a child of 2.5 years. So my mother used to keep me on her lap. She used to do the pedaling, and I used to play with both my hands. There was a very famous song, Mera Sundar Sapna Beet Gaya, sung by Geeta Dutt. And I used to sing the whole song at that age, and people used to be amazed at how come a child of that age can sing and play together. Now when I perform, people tell me that your voice resembles Geeta Dutt a lot. So that's how I started.
That's very interesting. What is Sangeet Prabhakar degree? And who are your gurus? In fact, you had mentioned to me earlier about it.
Yes. Sangeet Prabhakar is a degree we get in Indian vocal classical music. As we study the other faculties, music also has a big, what you call, it has a course.
I see.
And we have to finish the whole course, like graduation and post-graduation. And this degree I got it after my marriage, and then I started teaching in the school for 8 years. And my gurus are, I first remember my first guru was Pandit Bhayaji Vazalwar. I started at the age of 5 years. He basically taught me all the classical grounding, how to do the riyaz, how to put the swar in right scales. And of course I did my schooling with the music as a subject. In college, of course, there was no music in my college, so I couldn't do graduation in music. But then after marriage, my husband became my guru. So he taught me the later part.
You were presented with Shirmani Award from the Government of India because of singing in 21 languages. Can you please tell our audience about this thing?
Yes, I sing in 16 Indian languages, which includes Sanskrit, Hindi, Marathi, Bengali, Gujarati, Punjabi, Kutchi, Marwadi.
How about English or any other international?
Yes, five international languages, in English, Swahili, Hebrew, German and Italian.
Oh, that's very interesting. But your name, Behroze Chatterjee, puzzles with your name. Can you please let us know, because it's...
Yeah, everyone tells me that. I'm a born Parsi. Parsi is a religion, Zoroastrian, and it's a Persian name. Behroze means the best day. And I married a Hindu. My husband is Sapan Kumar Chatterjee. So that's how I got his surname. So Behroze and Chatterjee.
Can you tell us about your family, about your children?
Yes.
Are they interested in the music also? Or they
Oh yes. My son Anupam, like me, he started playing tabla at the age of 2.5. He's a student of Ustad Allah Rakha and Zakir Hussain. He plays almost all instruments now. He sings too. My daughter also sings. So very rarely people have seen a whole family performing together on the stage, and we are one of them. I'm proud to be.
I heard he's also playing for Indian film industry as a composing. Very interesting.
Yeah, he wants to become a composer.
Well, Behroze, you have traveled all over the world, as you mentioned to me earlier. Can you tell us which countries have you performed and where you've been more popular? and why you were, popular in those countries?
My first tour abroad was in 1969. Me and my husband both went to Hong Kong and Bangkok in the East. Then I started traveling to the West. In America, this is my 6th tour. In England, I've made 3. Dubai, Belgium, and West Indies, and East Africa. So I've traveled, toured in 14, 15 countries.
You've been also performing in North America recently. Which cities or states have you been performing on this special trip you made to United States and Canada?
Yes, in Canada I performed. In States I have given programs in Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Chicago, North and South Carolina, Florida, in the West, California, Dallas, San Antonio.
I know
everywhere.
that you also performed in Miami on the January 31st.
Yes, I did.
That was a very interesting program. People really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
As I mentioned in my opening that you are a Ghazal, Geet and Bhajan singer. Can you tell our audience a little bit about what is Ghazals or what is Bhajans, in fact, so that they're aware of what we're talking about?
Ghazals are love songs mainly. They are couplets. And the theme of the ghazal is always love, and a lost love, in fact. Those who have lost in love. And bhajans are devotional songs, more towards the devotion of God or devotion of the country. And Geet, of course, I've sung in the films. They are light.
Very interesting. Besides singing, do you play any instruments?
Yes,
I know you do play harmonium, but any other instruments like?
Yes, I play harmonium, tabla, piano, sitar. I've learned, though I don't play it, but I know sitar.
Can you do some demonstration or sing few lines for our audience on the harmonium, which is a beautiful instrument from India? It will be really interesting to hear that from you, if you don't mind.
Sure.
It will be a pleasure to.
Now this is called a harmonium. It has 3 octaves, and here this special harmonium has a scale change. What we singers use this.
Well, basically what does it do is changes the scales.
It changes the scale. It makes it's easier to play.
I see.
If you are used to playing with this C sharp,
I see.
and if you want to go higher, you just put it higher, and you can play. You can play with C sharp.
Such as small instruments can have those type of gadgets. That's very interesting.
Yes,
on that.
This is very good.
Can you play some few lines or sing for live for her audience? I think that they'll love it. And
what would I sing? A ghazal or?
Well, a ghazal or poetry or anything. I think so. I know that you mentioned to me you also write songs, and that's very interesting. And if you can let our audience know that some of your poetry you have written or something very interesting. Let's see.
I'll sing a ghazal, not written by me, but I'll read out my poetry. Because I've not tuned them. I have tuned them, but those are the disco numbers.
I
see. This is a ghazal of Jigar Muradabadi. मोहब्बत का अदना ये फसाना है, सिमटे तो दिले आशिक, फैले तो ज़माना है, एक लफ्ज़ मोहब्बत का.
That's very nice. Can you sing some international language we were talking about? I know it's a different instrument. It will be very difficult. I know those international songs are basically on Western instruments.
Yes.
But let's see if we can make East and West, and if we can perform.
All right, let me
just
try.
Few lines for our audience. See,
all right.
An English song or
See, now I'm changing the scale because that was low for me.
I see.
This is a Hebrew language song sung in Israel. It's a very popular song. You might have heard it, but I like it. Hava nagila, hava nagila, hava nagila ve mismukha. Hava nagila, hava nagila, hava nagila ve mismukha. Hava naranna, hava naranna, hava naranna ve mismukha. Hava naranna, hava naranna, hava naranna ve mismukha. Urwahi balab sameya, urwahi balab sameya, urwahi balab sameya, urwahi balab sameya, urwahi balab sameya.
Beautiful. I think so. Such a beautiful voice, melodious voice you have, and with the orchestration, I definitely know that it will sound.
Yes, beautiful.
Well, I mean, I really appreciate you demonstrating the instrument and singing for our audience. We'll get into some other questions I have in mind. That you have been labeled a versatile singer. I mean, you sing in anything, do anything. I mean, can you just explain, because what do you mean by when you were labeled as a versatile singer?
Yes, normally in India, what people, they just take one style of singing and concentrate on that. For example,
excuse me, by the way, before we get into that, I would like my audience to see one of the live performance Behroze performed in Miami on January 31st, 1994, and I hope you will enjoy her live performance.
कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात नहीं, तुम ना समझो कोई बात नहीं, तुम ना जानो कोई बात नहीं, तुम ना समझो कोई बात नहीं, तुम ना जानो कोई बात नहीं, हम जान तुम्हीं पर देते हैं, हम जान तुम्हीं पर देते हैं, तुम ना मानो कोई बात नहीं, तुम ना समझो कोई बात नहीं, तुम ना जानो कोई बात नहीं। बेदर्द हो तुम, बेताब है हम, पास बुला लो, दिल से लगा लो। बेदर्द हो तुम, बेताब है हम, पास बुला लो, दिल से लगा लो, पास बुला लो, दिल से लगा लो। दिल की धड़कन बन झीलेंगे, अब मान भी लो कोई बात तो है, दिल की धड़कन बन झीलेंगे, अब मान
Friends, you were listening to one of the Behroze, her own song she sang in the film industry in India. Behroze, it was really interesting, and I hope the audience really enjoyed it. And I remember attending that program. It was one of the best programs I ever attended, and people really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
But I'd like to know that how did you get into this film industry and singing for films? I mean, because you were a Ghazal singer, now you're also singing for India films.
Yeah, in fact, to be a playback singer was my childhood dream, because that time I didn't know what Ghazals are. So I wanted to become a playback singer. So when I used to sing only film songs till I met my second guru, my husband Sapan Kumar. I saw him performing on the stage and singing Ghazal, and I was very impressed. I said, what kind of a singing is this? And I walked up to him. I said, I want to learn what you're singing, and he started teaching me, and then I started singing Ghazals much later. And of course, film songs were always there in my back of my mind. So when I came to Bombay, I was not living in Bombay at that time. So when I came to Bombay, I met a music director who was a college student with me in Nagpur, where I did my college education. So he had become a music director. So he at once recognized me. He says, are you interested in singing for films? And naturally that was what I wanted. So that's how he took me in his first film, Tumhare Bina.
Let me interrupt you. When you are, let's tell our audience that when you're saying ghazals and then films, basically when you're singing for film songs, how does it picturizes in the film songs? I mean, in the film. I mean, can you tell us about it? That are the stars, they sing themselves, or your background? Can you just elaborate on that topic? Right?
In the olden times, singers like Suraya and Noor Jahan, they used to sing their own songs. But now normally no one does that. And
so basically what you do is you sing in the background,
yes,
and
we record the whole song and they shoot on that song.
I see. That's very interesting.
For example, this Koi Baat Nahi song, this is from the film called Koi Baat Nahi. And I have sung this song. The film is yet to be released. The music director is...
What is the name of the film?
Koi Baat Nahi.
Koi Baat Nahi.
Doesn't matter.
I see.
They have, that did the English version also.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
The music director is Tushar Bhatia. He's a new director and he's doing very well.
How many films have you given playback?
About 7-8 films I've sung for.
That's very interesting.
Bezuban.
So do you plan to change your basically from ghazals to films, because it's two different industries you're talking about?
Ghazals are my first love.
I see. Very good. Earlier, before we interrupted you, reference to that you were labeled as a versatile singer, and we just had to break because we wanted to show our audience a live cassette which you performed. Can you get back to that question again, please?
See, in India, when a singer wants to take up singing as a profession, he takes one particular style. For example, if he's a classical singer, he'll just concentrate on classical singing. If he's a ghazal singer, he'll sing only ghazals and nothing else. If he's a film, he or she playback singer, she'll sing for films only. But I like to sing everything.
You mean entertaining different people who likes...
Entertaining is the second part.
I
myself enjoy singing ghazals as well as film songs and bhajans and folk songs and classical. I like every kind of music. So if I can sing, why not?
Why not?
People, they don't sing because they feel that in their voice it doesn't suit. But people tell me that everything suits. When I give bhajan program, they say, you just sing bhajans and nothing else. When I sing ghazals, they say, oh, you're very good in ghazals, you just sing ghazals and nothing else. But I want to sing everything.
That's interesting, really, for a singer, a female singer like you, performing in different languages, singing different types of sets. And there is a difference between film singing and a stage singing. Do you find anything different?
Oh, yes. I enjoy singing on the stage because the response is right then and there. You get the public response immediately. Whereas studio singing for the films, it's a very boring affair. It continues for hours together. Sometimes when other people make mistake, we have to cut and do it again.
I see.
Though of course with the orchestra, the singing is different. You feel elevated.
Well, getting to a point that you are yourself a film and a playback singer, is there any particular male or female playback singer in India which you really like and who has inspired you, basically?
Oh yes. When I was a child, I was very much inspired by Lata Mangeshkar. I'm still her fan.
Can you tell our audience who's Lata Mangeshkar?
She's the
I know.
greatest of our country.
Just
I
like
think-
in
I think-
America, we have Diana Ross or
Yes.
something like a very popular.
Very popular. But she's the singer.
I see.
She's the best. Others are nowhere near her, including myself. And male singer, there was a singer called Muhammad Rafi who is no more. I used to like his singing. And in Ghazals, my Ustad, my Guru, Mehdi Hassan, I'm his ardent fan. I like his Ghazals very much. I
That's
like
very
his style. And Bhajans, of course, Anup Jalota has inspired me a lot.
I see. Well, the thing is, like, you have been coming mostly to North America almost every year. I mean, is there any reason? I mean, because people would love to have you back and back.
Yes, I get a very good audience. And people are very responsive. They like to hear me again and again.
I would like you to, if there's any memorable experience you can share with our listeners during your trip here or during your performance.
Yes, there was a experience I had about 2-3 years ago in New Orleans when I was singing a song. You must be knowing that song, Chitti Aayi Hai.
Yes, that was a very
And
emotional
yes,
song.
very emotional song, and it's about how a person in foreign country longs to be back in his own country. So that song, when I was singing, I could see audience crying right in front of me, and seeing them cry, I started crying on the stage. So that was quite funny, but that was a real experience for me.
Well, Behroze, it's really, I think so, I have enjoyed it, and I know my audience have enjoyed you today. And thank you for coming to our studio and entertaining our audience.